Great to have Adam Schefter joining us this morning here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Adam, did I see that you were at a big birthday party for a big colleague of ours?
Yeah, they had a 70th birthday celebration for Chris Berman. 70 years old, 50 years at ESPN. At least it said that on the cake. I don't know if that was actually accurate or not, but 70 years old, 50 years, and it was very cool. They had a video, an 8-minute video of people sending in videos saluting him, and he obviously is the soul of ESPN and has done so much to build that place, and really is the most legendary figure who has ever worked there. It was a very cool thing. It was an honor to be invited, and it was in Boston. So I flew into Boston yesterday afternoon. We went to this bar last night. Chewy, I'm standing there. I'm about to leave. I'm driving back to Bristol, where I'm at now, to do TV today with Field Yates. And this big guy comes over. He goes, Adam, Max Lane. Did you play against Max Lane, Chewy?
Oh, the lineman for the Patriots?
Yeah,
we
offensive
beat
tackle,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, we beat him in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 31.
Yeah, he played in that. Yeah, because he
He's the
retired.
one. He's the
He was
one that
telling
got
me he
worked
retired.
by Reggie. He's the one that
Yeah,
got worked
yeah,
by
yeah.
Reggie. Those sacks
Yeah.
in the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him thank you.
And he was telling me that he retired. He retired in the year 2000, right before their run. So he missed out on all the Super Bowl rings.
Yeah. Adam, have you heard a number that the Packers offered Jaire? Because I think that the number was so low that he did not take the offer right away. And I'm kind of surprised that if the number's low, no one else is willing to pay him that number, if that makes sense.
I think they want him. They want him to take a low offer, and I think he doesn't want to budge on that. And so the Packers, I think, are going to have a choice. Either they're going to have to pay him what's on his contract, or they have to release him or trade him. Like, I don't think he's going to give in and take what they're offering. That's not going to happen. That's not going to be an option here.
Is that his best move, Adam? And
well, you know what? Here's the deal. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Somebody would grab him, and they'll pay him a contract. And if not, then he'll choose the best situation elsewhere for 1 year and become a free agent after the season. A free agent, start of the year. And if he plays well, he'll pick a good situation. I don't know. Let's just say Baltimore. I'm using that as an example. Like, Baltimore lost some defensive backs and free agent. What if you went into Baltimore, shined in that defense, and then became a free agent? Right? You're going to do well in the free agent market.
Adam, the news broke earlier this week. Pro Bowl center Frank Regg now decided to retire. Obviously, that's big for the Packers because, well, he was the center of the best team in their division. How much of a heads up did the Lions have on this? Did they have a suspicion that this could happen? Because it's kind of late to be announcing that retirement with minicamp starting.
I think they definitely knew it could happen. And I think if you look at their draft and the guy they took in the second round, Tate Rutledge from Georgia, they already have him penciled in at center. So I think that they had an idea that this was going to happen. And I also think that Frank gave it as much time as he could in the hopes that he would feel better physically, that whatever's ailing him would come around, and it just never did. And so much so that in early June, he decided to announce his retirement and make it official. And I think, obviously he felt like that was the best course of action. You hate to see that. And, that team is so strong and they've been so good. And for him to walk away right now, that he must not have been right, which he basically admitted in his statement.
Adam Schefter hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Adam, what is the confidence level for the Minnesota Vikings with J.J. McCarthy? There was a list that was put out, I think it was on NFL.com, where they were talking about the most complete teams, and they had the Vikings listed at number 6. Packers, for reference, were at number 8. Now, do we recognize that they have a ton of skill position players? Yes. Do we recognize that they are going to be a good team? But I can't wrap my brain around having a rookie QB under center and being considered a top 6 team in the league from a complete standpoint when they are weighing those positions. So the quarterback obviously is weighed more heavily. What is your understanding of the confidence level they are feeling with him right now?
Well, I think they believe in him, but they also have no choice but to believe in him because they've cast their lot with him. They basically tried to re-sign Sam Darnold, or at least spoke to him. Didn't happen. They tried to keep Daniel Jones. Didn't happen. And now you're left with JJ, who, again, they believed in enough to use a first-round draft pick. What was he, the 8th overall pick or whatever it was last year? Didn't play at all. Wasn't around a lot his rookie year. Got hurt and kind of was gone. So he's a great kid, and he has a chance to be a really good quarterback. But do we know what he's going to do in the NFL? I don't know. I believe in the guy. I like the guy, but I still haven't seen him play in the game. I'm not going to be surprised if and when he comes on and plays very well. Not going to be surprised, but we haven't seen it yet to know.
Adam, to expand on that, I've seen rumblings that they could possibly trade to get Cousins back. Have you heard anything along those lines?
Well, I think that would have been an option prior to them trading for Sam Howell, but they traded for Sam Howell, so I don't think you're trading for Sam Howell and then Kirk Cousins as well, unless you go to camp and you go through the summer, and this would be a nightmare scenario where you're looking at what you're seeing in one of those two quarterbacks, either JJ and Sam, and you're not seeing what you thought you were going to see, and all of a sudden you're like, we got to do something here, like. Short of that, that's the way they would trade for Kirk Cousins now. Once they traded for Sam Howell, I think that knocked Kirk Cousins out of the equation there.
What are you keeping your eye on over the next couple of weeks with OTAs and then mandatory mini camps going on and really the offseason program starting to wrap up?
Well, the way that I like to think of this is think of yourself at the end of the school year. You couldn't wait to take that last test and get the hell out of school and run out that door and start your summer break. And that's how these teams are thinking right now. And that's how the players are thinking
I thought that's what you were thinking, that you were starting to have a little senioritis, that maybe you had a little vacation planned here.
No. I have no vacation planned.
No vacation ever for Adam Schefter.
No. We run an assisted living facility for doggy daycare. Like that's what we do. We take care of our 4 dogs. Two of them are in failing health. We can't go anywhere. I mean, it's unbelievable. But the one thing that I think hangs over everybody right now, and I know there'll be no interest in the Milwaukee market about this, is what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. Like, here we are, June 4th. The Steelers' mandatory minicamp is June 10th to the 12th. And they'll probably cancel that last day, I'm sure, as most teams do. So you got 10th and 11th next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. Still no word. They still don't know what he's doing. Like, okay, at what point are we saying this is interesting? This is an issue. At what point are we saying, you know what, we need to lob a call into Atlanta to see if Kirk Cousins is available, and we can't wait on this guy? Like, do you do that at some point, or do you just keep waiting and in the hope that he's going to come around when he hasn't come around yet, and it's June 4th?
Adam, what was your opinion on the entire conversation surrounding Jordan Love comping the end of his first season as the starter to his performance last season? I know our colleague Dan Orlovsky jumped in and said something about anyone who thinks that Jordan Love has regressed is not judging quarterback play correctly. I know that there is a lot of optimism about what Jordan can do. We have seen signs of brilliance from him. How do you compare that 8-game stretch where he was so good at the end of the 2023-2024 season and then dealing with the injuries, dealing with the drops, dealing with some of those things, and the production he showed last year?
Well, I don't think that anybody could say that last season went exactly the way that the Packers would hope. Now, you could say that he played well at times, didn't play well at times, but you can't argue with the fact that the talent is there, the play and production at times has been there, but there also have been significant mistakes that have prevented him and them from realizing their full potential. Like, I think that's just a fact. So that's part of his natural progression and his growth over time, to where you hope coming back this year that he's eliminating those mistakes and he's making more great plays, and the great plays far outnumber those plays that held them back last year, and that the team can improve over what it did in 2024.
All right, I'll yield my time to Gabe. Go ahead, get it in, Gabe. Golf question.
Have you
US
used Scotty
Opens when?
Scheffler yet in your one and done? And are you going to? So if you haven't, and I'm assuming you're just going to use him for the U.S. Open next week.
Gabe, I'm glad you asked that question.
Excellent.
Last week was the start of our second half pool.
Ooh, okay.
First half, thanks to your guidance, did not go the way that we would have intended or wanted.
Never going to live that down.
No, apparently not.
For the opening week, last week, I picked Scotty Scheffler.
That's just smart. That was just smart.
And so we are now in the second half pool. We are tied for first, and we got 4 million points last week, and I am very happy. So now we are mulling our picks for the Canadian Open this week. I think I have the guy I want, and we'll I know as Jen will be very curious about that. We'll report back to you next week with who we pick and how that golfer fares. Right, Jen?
Well, here's a follow-up for you. I know it's been a while since Dylan was in diapers, but did you see the video of his wife, Meredith, handing Scotty the baby, and the baby had the poop running up the back of the onesie? Did you catch that video at the end after he won?
Well, to combine all that, we're talking about running an assisted living facility for dogs. I didn't think I would be going here, but we have, if you'll allow me, we have 4 dogs. We lost one of our beloved dogs in January, Benny, and may he rest in peace, and I miss him and still hurt over that. But we have 2 dogs, one who's almost 19, Ella, who she's always been she's been in my office for everything. But over the last couple of years, she's lost her vision. She's lost her hearing. She's kind of senile, and we love her, and we're taking care of her. And, like, she can't hear, like, she's crying at night. But Tuesday night into Wednesday, she's laying, between my wife and I, and she's kind of squealing. She gets up at 3 a.m. She steps right in my eye socket. She gets up, and then all of a sudden, she has the issue that affected Scotty Scheffler's son as I'm holding her. So at 3 a.m, she is pooping. She's pooping all over my arm, my legs, okay? And I get woken up. I have to go take her out. Well, she's in diapers too, by the way. But it's going through the diapers, okay? And it's going all over me. So I let her out. I give her nothing you want to do more at 2:33 in the morning than give your dog a bath and then have to get in the shower yourself at 3:15 after you finish up because she went all over you. Jen?
Days just basically started.
Jen?
Days started
All I'm going to tell you is,
yeah, you did start.
All I'm going to tell you is Scotty Scheffler got off easy, okay? And he had $4 million in his pocket, okay? He got off easy, and he had $4 million in his pocket. I did not have any money in my pocket, and I was covered in poop.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
You know what, Adam? I love that you come on our show and you tell these stories that really humanize you to our listeners, right? Our loyal listeners think of Adam Schefter. He's this big-time insider, breaking news on the NFL. Meanwhile, you're over here doing doggy daycare. I love that you called it an assisted living center for our elderly dogs. We appreciate you,
Well,
sir.
we got Ella, and then we got Bailey, who's almost 16, and she's lost, like, the use of her back legs due to arthritis. So you have to pick her up and hold her up to go to the bathroom. And a lot of times she can't stay. She falls back in. So Bailey gets 2-3 baths a day. She winds up peeing on my legs all the time. Like, it's great joy running the doggy daycare facility in the Schefter household these days.
Adam Schefter, visiting angel.
You'd have no idea, right? And by the way, and that's why when I can hit on my golf pick and my winner, it gives me something to just sit back and take away some of the pain and misery that I'm going through on a regular basis, enduring running our assisted living doggy daycare facility.
Adam, I got nowhere to go after this, so we're going to let you go. Have a great one, sir. We'll talk to you again next week.
We'll talk next Wednesday.